another live video. This live will be getting uploaded to my YouTube channel either sometime tonight or sometime tomorrow. Um, yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into it, right? So look, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything. I'm also giving a huge shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving a huge shout out to everyone and to y'all. Y'all literally take energy out of y'all's day to come rock with me, show me love and support, you feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much. More love always deeply. I'm also sending good positive energy, good positive protection, and good positive feeling, and good positive energy towards everyone always deeply. Also, if you want to buy my ebook, you can. It's $10.90. Link is going to be in the description and in the comments down below. And yeah, let's go ahead and get more deeper into the live. So look, right, how to become more positive and shift your energy instantly, right? Hold on, let me bring this closer, y'all. Let's bring this closer. Okay, cool. All right, bet. Also, I recently dropped a video, a YouTube video, at like 3-something a.m. Y'all can go check that out if y'all want. A lot of good information talking about how to know when somebody's thinking about you, telepathy, etc., right? Superpower, a lot of good information in that video. Y'all can go check that out. But look, right, now, if you would like, now look, right, how to become more positive, right? So with becoming more positive, let's break down some things about positivity, right? What is being positive, right? Being positive can be simply you smiling, right? Being positive can you helping someone, helping a homeless person, I don't even want to call them a homeless person, helping somebody who may need the help at the moment, right? Because I feel like calling somebody a homeless person is like you're putting like maybe like a narrative or like you're trying to put them in this box, right? I'm not trying to be mean to nobody, nothing like that, but I'm not even finna call them that. I'm just gonna say they're a being, which they are a being, you know what I'm saying? So what being positive means is that it means being naturally positive. It means helping people, helping yourself, being nice, being kind, right? So how do we become, etc.? So how do we become more positive? Now, becoming more positive isn't always the easiest thing to do. Why is this? Because life isn't just positive energy only. If life was just positive energy only, life would feel perfect. But the thing, etc. But the thing is, life was created positive energy and negative energy. So with that being said, since life is positive energy and negative energy, there's always going to be something's going to be negative and something's going to be positive. So it can be hard sometimes to stay positive, right? So how do you become more positive? One of the best ways, what's up, Piper Queen? One of the best ways to become more positive, right, is by getting away from negative individuals. Now, what do I mean by this, right? By getting away from negative individuals, what I mean by this is that your circle, the people that you're around, right? I'm gonna give an example. What's up, Queen? Right? I'm gonna give an example, right? You can be a very positive person, right? You can be a very positive individual, but let's say all of your friends are very cruel, bullies, like to pick on people, like to talk trash. Appreciate that like, much gratitude. Appreciate the likes, much gratitude, right? So what do you think you're gonna start doing? You're a very positive individual, but because your friends are very negative individuals, when you get around your friends, you start to become negative. Why? Because you want to fit in. You feel like if you don't, you feel like they might try to kick you out the friend group. You feel like it might be awkward. You feel like it might be weird. You don't really know what to say, really know what to talk about, right? So if you want to become more positive, if you want to upgrade your life, get away from individuals who are being negative, right? Because people that truly want to grow positively, they're not trying to be negative, right? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Right? What's up, Cameron? What's up, Amira? What's up, y'all? What's up? So look, right? Appreciate y'all joining in on the live, man. Now look, salute to y'all. Now look, right? So once we get away and we separate ourselves from negative individuals, right? Now it feels less of a challenge, maybe so, per se, to be negative. So what are some other things that we can do to become more positive? Having faith. Now, I know we hear that a lot, right? Having faith, be faithful, have faith. Excuse me, have faith, right? But the thing is about having faith is faith tests you. What I mean by faith tests you, in other words, you test yourself. So, God, the universe, it's important to have faith in that. It's important to have faith in yourself, right? It's also important. I feel like it's important to have faith in others as well. But just because you have faith in somebody, I don't recommend you to expect anything from anyone. And just because you have faith in somebody doesn't mean that you have to keep giving them chances after chances after chances. That doesn't mean that you have to be around them, etc. Right? So to become more positive, start having more faith in God. Start having more faith in the universe. Start having more faith within yourself. Because when you are doing these things, you are going to naturally become more positive. If you're in a situation right now where it kind of feels rocky, kind of feels shaky, you feel like, man, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this, and then now this done happen, right? The universe is with you. God is with you. Your higher self is with you. You are with yourself, right? If it is on your plate, you can handle it, right? A lot of times while we make mistakes is because we panic. It's imperative to stay calm. It's imperative to stay focused. It's imperative to keep moving forward. Do not let life break you down and control you. Continue to stay centered. Continue to stay calm. Continue to stay sharp. Continue to keep being positive. You know why? Because these are good things. These are good, high vibrational, positive things. And when you're staying positive, guess what happens? You attract positive. You attract more positive energy. You attract more positive people, right? So even when things aren't going your way, still be positive. I recommend you to still be positive. Why? Because you're changing the vibration. You're changing the frequency. Something bad just happened in your life, but you're still being positive. So what are you going to attract? What are you going to manifest? Appreciate that like, by the way. What are you going to manifest? You're going to manifest positive energy. And God, the universe, sees it like, oh, we just tested Ali. He also just tested himself, and he passed the test. He didn't let this control him. He didn't let this stop him from living his life. He didn't let this take over him, right? Because the universe, God always provides, right? So if it's on your plate, you can handle it. You're already handling it, rather if you realize it or not, right? It's very, 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 very important to have faith in God, to have faith in the universe. It's very, 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 very important to have faith in yourself. It's very, 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 very important to have faith in others, right? You see what I'm saying? I liked and sub. Thank you. Shout out Edward, man. Shout out Edward. Good positive energy, man. Good positive energy. You see what I'm saying? See, this is another example, right? I'm in here. I'm being positive. We're being positive. We're spreading positive information, right? I didn't ask Edward to sub. Edward wanted to sub because that's what Edward wanted to do, and I appreciate that sub. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, bro? It's natural energy, right? So when you're being positive, people see that. Now, just because you're being positive, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody that's seeing you be positive is going to start being positive to you. Excuse me. What I'm saying is that when you're being positive, people around you can see that. And when people around you see that, they might start to be more positive, or they might start to be positive towards you as well, right? So look, right? Another thing too with becoming more positive, right, is music, right? What are you listening to, right? The thing is with music is kind of hypnotic. What I mean by hypnotic is it can be a form of hypnosis, right? When you listen to music, how do you feel, right? For an example, I'll give another example about music. Let's say you're listening to some drill music. Let's say you're all hyped up, right? You're just really hyped up, right? Now let's say you go, after you turn that drill music off, let's say you go listen to some jazz music. Notice how you went into two different frequencies. When you was listening to drill music, you was real hype, right? You were real hype. You feel me? Then you turn on some jazz, you're not really real hype no more. You kind of like laid back. You chilling. You more like chill. See what I'm saying? It's the vibration. It's the energy. So I'm not sitting here saying, hey, uh, all drill music is bad. Like, oh, you have to listen to jazz music. No, I'm using drill and jazz music as examples. The thing is that I have nothing against drill music and I have nothing against jazz music. What I'm saying is that, excuse me, listening to music can affect your frequency. It can affect your energy. It can affect you being positive and negative. It can, right? So Maybe so. So the thing is that what music are you listening to? How do you feel when you are listening to this music? Do you feel positive or do you feel negative? Right? Do you feel like doing when you're listening to music, it's imperative to listen to music that makes you, that helps you feel positive, that helps you inspire. I'm gonna be honest. We should. This goes for myself as well. We shouldn't be listening to music that makes us want to go do something negative, right? That makes us want to go drop our frequency and drop our vibration. You see what I'm saying? We should be doing. We should be listening to music that is uplifting us, that is inspiring us, that is high vibrational, that's helping us stay focused, that's helping us stay with having better control with ourselves, right? You see what I'm saying? Another thing is too, right? I'm gonna give y'all some more sauce, right? Appreciate the person that's in here, by the way. Shout out you. Shout out everybody. Now look, right? I'm gonna give y'all some sauce, right? Um, if you are, and I got this. I heard this from Rashad Jamal. Shout out the guy. Y'all can go look him up. Shout out the guy. Now look, if you are a very positive person, right? And let's say somebody's trying to argue with you, right? But you don't argue. You stay calm. You hold your composure, right? Now here's the thing, right? They might not ever verbally apologize for what they did, but later on that day, they might start to feel guilty. They might start to feel really bad inside. Because they're like, dang, this person was being calm and cordial. This person wasn't even like arguing back. And they might not ever tell you how they really feel. They might not ever verbally apologize. But a lot of times when you stay calm while people are trying to get upset at you, a lot of times, bro, people be feeling that energy of that guilt and, man, I shouldn't have done that. I should really go apologize. But a lot of people, they be in their ego so much and be vibrating low that they don't even do it. You see what I'm saying? Another thing too is that if you want to have more income, if you want to achieve these goals, etc., 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 if you want certain things, one of the main things that matter is your mindset, your perception, your energy, bro. So, if you are in the process of achieving something, you need to be in positive energy. You don't need to be in negative energy. I'm gonna give an example. If you play basketball, right? Let's say you in high school, right? Let's say you play basketball for the team and you're trying to win a championship. But let's say y'all won 5 games in a row, but right after that y'all lost 2 games in a row. You shouldn't let those 2 losses define you and define your team and define your playing style, and now you're upset. You should use that as positive fuel so the next game you go out there and really play even better and play and go even harder positively. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, you're trying to win a championship. How are you going to win a championship if you're thinking negative, if you're feeling negative, if you're on the court being negative? Now you're on the court being negative. Now you're making the wrong decisions, right? Now you're in your ego too much. You're trying to do things that you shouldn't be doing. You're overly dribbling the ball, right? But the thing is, the reason why you're a starter on the team, the reason why you're a leader on the team, one of the reasons why you're good is because you play how you play naturally. You playing with this negative energy, that's not how you really play naturally. So by you doing something that you don't normally do naturally, that may mess you up when you're on the court. You see what I'm saying, bro? And another thing is too with being positive, right? A reason why it's hard for a lot of individuals to be positive, right, is because you are around you are letting people touch you that shouldn't be touching you. What I mean by this is, and I've spoke about this before, I've discussed this before, right? You shouldn't just be letting anybody do your hair, right? For an example, I have my hair in coils, right? You shouldn't be letting just anybody do your hair, right? When you are letting people do your hair, when you are letting people touch you, when you are dapping people up, when you were hugging people, when you were having sex with people, etc., that is energy, right? That is energy, right? I'm gonna give another example, right? When you go to the doctor, you know how like you have checkups or whatever, and like the doctor, you know what I'm saying? The thing is that it's energy. People can put curses on each other by just touching them, literally. And they show us this in anime, but a lot of times people don't really pick up on this. So if you want to become more positive, and if you want to protect your energy more, etc., in your aura field, etc., I recommend you to stop letting everybody touch you. I recommend you to stop. I recommend you to not stop having sex with everybody. Excuse me, because that is energy, right? If you go to a barbershop, you get a haircut. The haircut's fresh. It's how you want it, but you still feel this weird energy. You wasn't feeling this before you got to the barbershop, right? See what I'm saying? So, just be mindful of who you are letting touch you, because that can affect your aura field. That can affect your energy. That can affect your positive energy in a negative way. In other words, in a negative outcome, right? You see what I'm saying? Another thing is, too, right, is that with being more positive, it's not about trying to fake it, right? A lot of people end up going back to be negative because they're trying to fake being positive. You can't lie to yourself. It's two things that you can't lie to. You can't lie to yourself, and you can't lie to the universe. You can't lie to God. So if you are lying to yourself and trying to manipulate yourself that you are being positive and everything's good, but in actuality, in reality, everything isn't good, and you don't actually really want to be positive because you feel like it's not paying off, you feel like the results aren't paying off, right? The thing is that a lot of people go back to being negative, and one of the reasons why is because they're trying to fake being positive. Being positive isn't about faking energy. This is why, if you notice, a lot of people who tend to fake being positive, they end up crashing out, or they end up showing how they really feel, or they end up saying how they really feel, etc., etc., etc. Right? Why is this? Because they are trying to hold a frame that they naturally aren't in at the moment. Right? What I mean by this is that they're trying to hold a vibration that they're not naturally in, for real, right? You see what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to do a backflip, right? But you've never done a backflip before. So how are you in that energy of, I know how to do a backflip? In other words, you're not taking the proper steps to learn how to do a backflip. Instead, you're just off the rip trying to do a backflip. In other words, what I'm saying is that you are not taking the proper steps, and you're not taking the right routes to what you are trying to accomplish, to what you are trying to become, right? So being positive isn't about faking energy. Being positive is natural, right? A lot of times we can tell when an individual is being fake, right? Tone of voice, eye contact, body language, energy, right? And a lot of times we can tell when somebody's being naturally positive, natural smile. Eyes are also smiling as well. That's another thing. If somebody is consistently smiling at you, laughing at your jokes or whatever, but if you tend to notice that their eyes don't smile, then this might be a very dangerous individual. This might be a very fake individual, right? Because when somebody naturally smiles, a lot of times people's eyes will naturally smile as well. This is what we call smizing, right? Have you ever seen somebody smile with their eyes, even if they're not really smiling with their mouth or whatever? This is what we call smizing. This is what you call smizing, right? Basically, in other terms, this is where you smile with your eyes, right? So, the reason why I said that might be a dangerous person is because this person is somebody who this could potentially maybe be a person who is very fake, and somebody who is fake. You can tell when somebody's fake a lot of times, but if somebody's really, really good at manipulation, if they're really, really good at psychology, if they're really, really good at, you know, painting their mask and controlling their mask really good, then to a lot of individuals, it's not going to seem like they are faking, even though in reality they really are faking, right? Another thing too to become more positive is start be around things that you love. Be around things that you actually want to be around, right? A lot of times where we aren't positive as much is because we aren't doing things that we actually want to do, right? Start doing things that you actually want to do, and watch how much better you feel. Watch how much more money you start making. I'm telling you, do what you love and watch how much more money you make. Watch how better you feel. Facts, right? And the thing is, with income, with money, if you're doing what you love, brother, money is naturally gonna come. That's naturally gonna come. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for an example, right? If you call yourself a king and you really know that and you really move like that, what you think gonna happen? You're gonna start attracting more money because you're a king, and you are aligning with that king energy. You are balancing that king energy. You are connecting with that king energy, king like energy. Vice versa for a queen. You see what I'm saying? So to become more positive, be around things that you love. Be around things that you have an interest in, right? This is going to naturally help boost your aura. This is naturally going to help boost your frequency and your energy and your vibration. You're going to naturally feel better about yourself because you're around things that you love, right? For an example, a lot of times when people are going through things, what will they do? They'll go to their family. They'll start spending more time with their family. Why? Because a lot of people love their family, right? So start being around people that you love and that love you. Start being around things that you love. If you love playing the guitar, play the guitar because it's something that you love to do, right? You see what I'm saying, right? So another thing is too to become more positive, right? Is to not take things personal, right? A lot of times, including myself, we like to take things personal. We like to take things to the heart, to the soul. But in reality, bro, we shouldn't really be taking anything personal. Um, excuse me. When you reach a certain level or levels to where you're not really taking anything personal, you have become a very powerful individual, right? And also, to some people, a very dangerous individual. And I'm going to be breaking down both of these, right? So let's start off with the dangerous part. The reason why you are going to be looked at as a dangerous individual to a lot of people is because you're not taking things personal. So now people start to panic. It's like you kind of like reverse the energy rather if you was trying to or not. Because they was trying to put negative energy onto you. They was trying to make you panic, but they ended up being the ones panicking. In other words, they was trying to put certain energies on you, but it didn't happen. They ended up putting their own energy back on them. You see what I'm saying? So when you're somebody who's not taking a lot of things personal, right? People may look at you as a dangerous individual because dang, how do I stop this person? How do I get control of this person? How do I get this person to do something that they wouldn't want to do? How do I get this person to drop this high vibrational frequency or frequencies, right? Another reason why you become very, very powerful is because it makes it more harder for people to control you. It makes it more harder for people to manipulate you and, have the upper hand on you, right? It makes you unpredictable in a way because it's like, dang, what is she going to do next? What is he going to do next, right? And you become more powerful. People become more attracted to you. Your energy becomes more magnetized because you aren't worried about other people's opinions. You aren't worried about whether if people want to be around you or not. It's not necessarily that you're like trying to be in this I don't care mindset, maybe so. It's you are in the flow with the universe. You are in the flow with, with yourself, even though everybody is naturally in the flow with the universe, right? Um, but the thing is, when you start to, I'm telling you, bro, when you start to not take things personal, your life is going to increase positively, right? Why? Because you're not taking things personal. People might come back around in your life. People might start to respect you more because, like, dang, she didn't even take that personal. And people can relate to that. People can feel a sense of comfortability being around you because, like, wow, this person didn't even like get upset. Like, people take this as it get me. They get where I'm coming from. They see where I'm coming from. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Crystal? You see what I'm saying? Shout out, Crystal. You see what I'm saying? So try not to take things personal, right? Because in reality, a lot of times when people are doing things, it doesn't have nothing to do with you, right? A lot of times we think that it does, but a lot of times, bro, people. A lot of times, bro, people be in their own world. Don't get me wrong. It's a very lot of nosy individuals. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, respectfully, but it is a lot of it's a lot of people who are literally in their own world. And another thing too, I want to say about being more positive is that, because I'm about to end this live in a little bit. Another thing too with being more positive, right, is that with being more positive, it's not gonna always be easy, right? Um, we get tested all the time. We get tested by ourselves. We get tested by God. We get tested by the universe. Being positive all the time isn't always the easiest thing to do. Sometimes you may not feel like being positive. Sometimes you may feel like being negative. Sometimes you may feel like doing something negative. But it's important and it's imperative when these things do occur, if they do occur, respectfully, it's imperative to remember your why. It's imperative to remember Do I really need to do this? Should I really do this? Right? If you're thinking about making a bad decision, ask yourself, should I really do this? Do I need to do this? Is this the right decision? Is this going to be am I going to get a good output from this? Am I going to get good energy from this? Or am I going to get bad negative energy from this? Right? You see what I'm saying? What energy am I putting myself into by doing this? Right? You see what I'm saying? You want to be in positive energy. So, for the ones who want to be in positive energy, you want to be in positive energy. So, since you want to be in positive energy, be around positive energy naturally, right? Be yourself. The reason why being yourself, one of the reasons why being yourself is so important is because when you're being yourself, what happens? When you're being yourself, you're naturally gonna be, you're naturally gonna be who you are, truly. You're gonna be who you want to truly, you're gonna be what you want to truly be more truly. So you're gonna dress how you truly want to dress. You're gonna walk how you truly want to walk. And because you're doing all these things, you're naturally gonna be in a positive vibration, right? So a lot of times why people aren't positive is because they're not truly being themselves enough. Even when you're being negative, you're still somewhat being yourself, but you're not fully being yourself. If you're fully being yourself, are you really going to be in a negative energy? Are you really going to, pick on people and bully people, etc.? Right? So I recommend everybody, including myself, to be yourself fully. Because when you're being yourself fully, how can you not be positive? How can you not help others? How can you not attract the woman that you want in your life? How can you not attract the man that you want in your life? How can you not attract everything that you want? How can you not have everything that you want when you are being yourself? When you are not just being yourself, when you're putting in the work, right? When you're being consistent, when you're having faith, etc., when you're being in positive energy, right? Remember, your mind works very similar to a computer. Your mind works like a pattern, right? If you are thinking negatively consistently, you are going to attract negative energy consistently. You are going to feel negative energy consistently. You are going to think negative energy consistently. You are going to speak negative energy consistently. You are going to manifest negative energy consistently. You are going to send this energy out to the universe consistently, right? So it is up to you to decide how you want to live your life. It is up to you to decide what energy you are going to be in, rather that's going to be in positive energy, rather that's going to be in negative energy, etc. Respectfully. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Lance? Now look, right? Another thing too that I want to say as well, right, with being more positive is that, you know, nobody's positive all the time, right? Including myself. That's just life. Um it's also about picking yourself back up. If you get off task, get back on task. If you are being negative, let's switch that energy and let's get back to positive energy. What I mean by switch is let's get back to being positive, right? And the universe knows what it's doing, right? So even if you're in a situation, situations that you feel like things aren't going your way, things are always going your way. I'm not just saying this to try to help you feel better. I'm also saying this respectfully. I'm also saying this because it's the truth. The universe knows every single thing about you before you were even created. So things are going in your favor, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if it don't seem like it, you don't feel like it, you don't think it is, etc. Things are going in your way. Things are going in your favor. It's about you having faith in the universe and God. It's about you having faith in yourself. It's about you staying positive. It's about you being in high vibrational energies. It's about you being around. If you are going to be around people, be around positive energy. It's about you cutting off and getting away from these negative individuals, because these negative individuals do not want to see you being positive. Why do I say this? If this is a negative individual and they treat themselves like trash, why would they treat you good? Why would they treat you positively, right? How can someone truly treat you positive if they don't truly treat themselves positive? How can someone truly love you if they don't truly love themselves? How can someone truly respect you if they don't truly respect themselves? How can someone truly be there and help you and support you if they don't even truly help themselves and truly support themselves, right? This is another reason why I say don't take anything personal, right? And I get it. You might get upset because, dang, why didn't this poor person support me? Why wasn't they there for me? But in reality, they don't even support and be there for themselves. They don't even look out for themselves. So in actuality, how are they going to look out and support and be there for you and be there for others? You see what I'm saying? I've used this example multiple times. If you are not a very patient person with yourself, you should not be having kids, because how are you going to be patient with these kids? See what I'm saying? You should not be in a relationship if you are not patient enough with yourself, if you are not respecting yourself enough, because if you are not respecting yourself enough, you will naturally disrespect the ones around you. I'm going to say that again. You should not be in a relationship if you are naturally, you should not be in a relationship if you are disrespecting yourself, because if you are disrespecting yourself, you will disrespect the person that you are in a relationship with. You will disrespect the people that you are around, right? So it's imperative and it's very important to be positive and to stay in that positive, good energy. Remember, you are the one that controls your reality, not the outside noise, not people, not the matrix, etc. But look, man, I love y'all, man. It's much more love always deeply. And yeah, man, peace to all.